for those of you, you know who I am. My name is Miss Thames. I am a teacher at CI Gibson. I have been here with you since day one, as we went through quite a bit of topics for grade 12 geography. And it was my pleasure being here with you, even with my all-timers, okay? From my A1 since day one person, okay? I'm so happy to be here with you guys, Arjane, Asia, Destiny, Kashard, Marsha, Paris, okay, Garland. So welcome back, guys, welcome back. So as we wrap up in this final session, I'm gonna get started right now because I wanna make sure that I'm able to at least touch on a little bit of everything that I have put together on this slide for you. I also want to thank Mr. Monroe for assisting with some information as well, okay? And I did do a bit of editing to my liking, okay? So let's begin, guys. So of course you are familiar with map work being very, very important in geography. Okay, it's actually on paper 1 and paper 2 as well. Okay, so you have it being on both papers. So we're just going to go over a few stuff. Some of the things I intend to look at with you today. We're going to look at the parts of a map. We're also going to look at how height can be shown on a map. Okay, we want to be able to also look at just 6-figure and 4-figure grid reference. Also our compass and angular bearing as well. So I know it sounds like a lot, but that's why I want to get started now. I just want to touch on a little of everything with you. Okay. Okay, so just as we have been doing all throughout, I'm going to quickly give you the objectives first, and then we are going to get started. So firstly, we want to be able to identify the features found on a map. Next, we want to be able to locate direction using compass bearing and grid references. And last but not least, okay, we want to be able to analyze the importance of identifying height, okay? So these are some 3 things we want to conquer before this lesson is done. So I kind of started it off from the introductory stages. Okay, so we want to look at the parts of a map. And just as you know, I'm going to ask you a few questions and feel free to please share your answers. Like I said, I'm doing this all for you. Okay, so let's quickly go over the parts of a map. So it is typically said that there are about 5 main parts. Okay, there are about 5 main parts of a map. So let's identify the 5 main parts of a map. Please assist me by identifying them using our chat. Okay, so I'm waiting on some responses. Just looking for my pen. Parts of a map, guys, come on. This is introductory level geography. Okay, yes, Marsha. So Marsha already said the legend and the scale. So I want someone else to give me the other 3. Anyone else? Anyone else want to give it a try? Remember, we are all here just for review. We should all be comfortable with Miss Thames up to this point. Anyone else? So we have the legend and the scale. What else do we have? Come on, guys. These are things that you should know. These are things that you should be familiar with, because if that BGCSE exam was last month, then we know we would have had some issues. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly go over them with you. Of course, you know, we are definitely in a time frame. So Marsha already said legend and the scale. Okay, so of course you see we have your scale down here. Excellent, Raven. Yes, you do have the title and the border as well. Okay, the title and the border as well. But y'all missing out one of the main things. No one haven't said one of the main things. Yes, the compass. Excellent. Okay, so you guys have identified all of them. You have the legend, and the legend is also known as the key. Okay, so I'm going to tell you what the 5 main parts are, Kishard. I'm going to tell you 5 main parts. So you have your legend. The legend is also known as the key. Okay, this here will be your legend. Of course, you know why the legend or the key is important. It shows you the symbols that are actually found on a map. We also have our scale. Okay, of course, scale is used to measure distance. Okay, so we have our key, we have our scale, we have our title. And the title of this map is Landscapes Map Skills. Okay, then we also have our compass. Our compass, of course, shows us the direction in which we are moving in. And then another one, like Raven said, you have your border. So the border of the map is also very important because the border of the map actually outlines all that's included in this actual map. Okay. And some persons may decide to, as a sixth one, some persons may decide to identify the grid lines. Okay, we have grid lines over this map as well. Okay. So yes, you have your title, your scale, your key or legend, your compass rose, the border, and your grid lines. So just moving on. So this will be one of the maps that you should be familiar with when it comes to the BGCSE. Okay, we call this the Ordnance Survey Map, okay? And they will typically give you this to answer the different map work questions, okay? And of course, you are able to identify some things on this map as well. You see up here, let me just use a pen color. You see up here, you have a scale as well, okay? That there's your scale as well. So the scale doesn't always look like, remember, you have different types of scales. I'm not going to go through all of those. Those are basic things. Okay, then you also have your title here. Jamaica as your title. No, sorry, your title is St. Anne's. My screen was blocking that. St. Anne's would be your title. That would be your title. But then over here would be your scale. Okay, so you have some other different little features going on here as well. Definitely your grid lines. You see the grid lines, the map border. Okay, so we're going to come back to this map, but let's continue. Okay, so here you see this is a compass that you all should be familiar with. And of course, you know, the compass is used for direction, okay, finding direction. So first of all, we have what we call the 4 main cardinal points. Can anyone identify for me the 4 main cardinal points? What are the 4 main cardinal points? Excellent, Raven. Okay, yeah, so we call those the 4 main cardinal points. So you're going to have your north, of course, so we can spell news. You have your east, you have your west, and you have your south, okay? So of course, your 4 main cardinal points spelled news, N-E-W-S, okay? So moving away from your 4 main cardinal points, we're gonna expand a little bit more. So we're gonna have our 8-point compass. We're gonna have our 8-point compass, okay? So let's quickly let's go through our 8-point compass. So what would be the point located between north and east? Anyone? What would be the point located? Okay, Kashad, first one out the gate. Yes, northeast. Okay, northeast. What point would be located between south and east? Southeast, yes. What about between south and west? West, excellent. What about between west and north? Excellent, guys. Good stuff. Good stuff. So yeah, so your 8-point compass is pretty basic, right? So you know you have these different areas. You have your northeast, you have your southeast, you have your southwest, and you have your northwest. Okay, so you typically have a greater challenge when it comes to identifying the compass direction on our 16-point compass. Okay, so I'm going to assist you a little bit, but I'm sure some of you by this point, you should already know it. Okay, so first of all, we're going to identify them by using our 8-point compass because we already have two letters going on. Okay, so I'm just going to quickly assist you. Yes, Kashard, I see that you know them. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, so this is a little trick I use with my kids. Okay, I don't know what END is. That one isn't right. Yes, okay, good, yes. Okay, so of course you have your northeast here, and of course you have north here. So of course you would just, this one would definitely be north. So this area here would be north of northeast. So of course this would be north northeast because it's north of northeast. Okay, this one. So let's just put that in. Okay. So next we're going to have this one here. This will be east northeast because you have your northeast here and this is east. You're moving in the eastern direction, okay? East of northeast. Yes, Kashad. Excellent. I see that you know all of them, okay? Of course, underneath your east, you'll have another one as well, okay? So this is east southeast because you have southeast down here and this is east of southeast. Okay, and of course this one here is going to be south of southeast. So it's at the bottom of southeast. So this is south of southeast. Okay, same thing applies with this one. This is southwest, and whatever this is down here is south of southwest. So that is how you're going to get your southwest. Okay, this here is going to be west. This is to the actual west of the southwest. So you're going to see west, southwest. Okay, so moving on up. So you're moving more north now. So you're going to see west of northwest. So you have northwest here, and this is more west of northwest. Okay, and last but not least, this is your north of your northeast. Okay, excellent. Good job, Kashard. Okay, so this here is your 16-point compass. So usually in a lot of cases, they would tell you to find directions based on these 16 points on this compass as well. And the reason why you see these other squares around it, because the 16-point compass is also associated with degree measurements. Okay, where did I put my degree measurements? Anyway, I'm going to show you the degree measurements. Let's just quickly go over this little activity first. So, using this little activity, we're going to identify, I guess, 2 locations, okay, using our 16-point compass. So, if you are traveling from the library to the bakery, what direction are you moving in? If you're moving from the library to the bakery, what direction are you moving in? Okay, Raven, I see you. Okay, Kashard, I see you. Okay, anyone else? One more person want to give it a try? If you are moving from the library to the bakery. Okay, Marsha, I see you as well. So let's give you the answer. I'm going to come back to the answer. Let's see. Let's give you the answer. Let me make sure. Okay, so that's northwest. So if you had anything close to northwest, you will be right. If you had northwest, that's fine. Okay, northwest is our answer. Remember, we are moving from the library. What direction are we moving from to get to the bakery? Okay, so we're moving in a northwestern direction. Let's go to the second one. So the shopping mall from the grocery store. This is the shopping mall. This is the grocery store. Okay, I'm not sure what NWN is. Okay, so let's look at the answer. So remember we said we're moving from the grocery store, from the shopping mall to the grocery store. So we're moving from the shopping mall to the grocery store. I think I made an error here, but that should be the same thing as the first one. Okay, shopping mall to the grocery store. It's supposed to say, I did make an error. It's supposed to say from the grocery store to the shopping mall, and that would have been southeast. So there is an error there in that one. Okay. So I'm gonna come back and change that. So it's supposed to say from the grocery store to the shopping mall. So from the grocery store to the shopping mall, you'll be moving in the southeastern direction. So that's a little error I made there, but I'll come back and correct that before I post it on the site for you. Okay, so these are some of the degree measurements of the 16-point compass. You can be familiar with them. An easy way to figure this out is when you have your 4 main cardinal points, your north, your east, your west, and your south, just know between every 4 cardinal points, you have a 90-degree angle. Okay, if you have your 8-point compass, guys, which will be your north, northeast, southeast, south, southwest, okay, northwest, you'll have a 45-degree angle between each one. And of course, with this one here, you're going to have 22.5-degree angle between each one of these. Even if you calculate it and you want to see 135 subtracted by 112.5, it's going to be 22.5. So in case you're in an exam room, the best thing to remember is 22.5. Always remember 22.5. Okay, if you remember 22.5, you can actually keep adding on. 22.5 plus 22.5, you can get 45 degrees. Same thing goes here, 45 degrees plus 22.5, and as you go around. So you don't have to remember all of these. If you just remember the 22.5, you can always add, so you would know, okay, west, southwest will be 247.5 degrees. So that's a little key that I figured out that you could help to assist you with, okay? So let's talk about finding direction using angular bearing. So of course, math work is kind of hard trying to do it by way of the computer. So I just tried to stick some things in there to assist you. So of course, when you're using angular bearings to help to express direction, you are going to use a protractor. I'm sure you all are familiar with your protractor. So remember, if you're ever taking your BGCSE for geography, please carry your protractor, your pencil, and definitely a ruler in the exam with you, just in case you have these angular bearing questions coming up. Okay, so this is what is used to find your angular bearing. In case you don't remember what angular bearings are, I put a few of them on this slide for you. So let me see if I'm able to do a little trick. If I want to help you in understanding, these different measurements, okay? So of course we're using something from we're not using an actual protractor, but I want to show you how to measure them, okay? So, for example, let's look at question 1. So the answers and everything are already there. So question 1, this is how you will actually find your angular bearing. So they will usually ask you, like, what is the bearing of one place to another in relation to another? So this question here is asking you, what is the angular bearing from A? This would be A to F, okay? From A to F. One thing I should have put on this slide too is some step-to-step, a step-to-step process to assist you. So maybe before I put this up on the website, I would give you a little step-to-step guided process so you can see what step comes first, what step comes second, okay? Because on your map, they won't give you the north. You're not going to get the north on your map. They're going to give you 2 points. So you're going to have A and you're going to have F, okay? And you're going to have to connect the points using a straight line. That's because you see these points are connected. You're going to have to connect the points using a straight line. So if they say, for example, let's move from, I'm just going to call a random place. Let's move from Marathon Mall to Aaron Bailey School. So that's what it usually would be worded like on your maps. Okay, so you're gonna draw a line connecting from Aaron Bailey School to the Mall of Marathon. Okay, you draw a straight line. Make sure your lines are even. That also helps you in accuracy. Okay, next you wanna be able to identify where you are moving from. And that is very important. And the reason why that is important is because wherever you're moving from, it's going to be your north. So remember that as well. Wherever you're moving from is going to be your north. So remember they said here, you're moving from A. Okay, so this is why they have the north line drawn here at A. Okay, so of course, north is always going to be 0. So every time you're starting at north, north is your starting point. North is always going to be 0. So what you're going to do using your protractor, that's why I found this one, clear one. Okay, using your protractor, you're going to line up. I'm sure everyone see this line in the middle here. Everyone is able to see that line in the middle there. So you're going to line up that line in the middle there, okay, with your point. And another thing I want to point out to you, you see the, first of all, you see the protractor. Let's go back to this one here. So you see the protractor here, okay? So you have numbers on the outside, numbers on the inside. So we're going to use the numbers on the outside. Okay, we're using the numbers on the outside. We're starting from 0. So just to point that out, okay, you're always starting from 0. You're always going to make sure your protractor is lined up where you are able to start from 0. Okay, remember we said north is always 0, guys. North is always 0. So because north is always 0, we turned our protractor in this direction. That's why I turn it in this direction, okay? So because north is always 0, remember we see our 0 here on our protractor. So we line up that north line with that 0. So everyone see the 0? We line that north up with 0. Okay, and ironically, you know what's actually ironic? Even though, like, besides this protractor to our liking, we still get the same answer. Okay, we still get that 55 degrees. If you look at the numbers here, okay, I hope everyone is able to see it. If you look at the numbers, we still about that 55-degree mark. So it's pretty cool. Okay, so I had to figure out, guys, how am I going to teach this to you using the virtual school? So I think that's pretty cool. So you see how we get that. So of course you move from north and you're always going to measure these angles in a clockwise direction. I hope everyone knows what a clockwise direction is. The same way the hand moves on the clock, okay? When you're looking at 5, 10, 15, 20, the same way the hand moves on the clock, that is your clockwise direction. They're always going to go in this direction. Okay, in this direction, like you're drawing a circle, okay? You're always measuring them in a clockwise direction. So we have another angle on our right-hand side. So this one's a little bit more tricky because I'm gonna tell you why. Because if you look at this angle, first of all, the angle is asking you, what is the bearing? So they switch it. So it's not from A to F anymore. It's now from F to A, okay? So they switch it now. So this is the first angle that you did here, the 55-degree angle. Now they want you to find the degrees from F, okay, to A. And remember what our first step was. Our first step is connecting the 2 points. Okay, so when you say F to A, you draw a line and you connect your 2 points. The map is not going to give you those points already connected. Okay? So when you connect your 2 points, the next step you need to do is identify where is your north. Okay, you want to identify where is your north. Okay, remember we said north is always going to be where you are moving from. Okay, north is always going to be where you are moving from. And remember in this case, we said we are moving from F to A. Okay, so we need to get from F. So imagine you're walking, you're walking with your friends. So you have to get from one point to the next. So you're moving from F and you need to get to A. Okay, so you already know where you're moving from. So you draw your north at the point you're moving from. And it's very important, like I said, for these lines to be straight. Okay, one thing I want you to identify, so these are 2 different angles. And you can even see that. You could even look at them and see that 2 different angles. This angle here is much more complex, much more bigger than the angle on the left-hand side. Okay, so what I always tell my kids, this. If you're moving from a place and you draw this little, I would say, arrow, okay, and you see the arrow is moving beyond the north line, okay? That actually helps you to identify that this angle is going to be larger than 180 degrees. And you may be asking, Ms. James, why is 180 degrees important in angles? Because what you should know is angles on a straight line. So if you actually see from north to the dotted line, that's 180 degrees. So angles on a straight line is 180 degrees, okay? So one thing you need to identify, this angle is going to be larger than 180 degrees. Remember how I said you find that out. For example, let's look at the first one. So if you draw that same arrow that I told you about, where the line you're moving from to the line you're going to, so you see the difference because you didn't move beyond the north. You didn't move beyond the north line, okay? You just move from here to here. So you know this angle was much smaller than 180 degrees because you never had to move beyond the north line. The north line would be down here and you would never have to move beyond that, okay? But definitely here you see where you're moving beyond that north line. So I'm just going to show you a little trick. So remember we said, what did we say, guys? North is always 0 degrees. So let's turn our protractor, okay? And one thing I want you to identify, you're not measuring this angle here just yet. You're not measuring that just yet. One thing I want you to see is from here to here is going to be 180 degrees, okay? You even see that up here. So 0 to 180 degrees. So you know that this line here is a straight line, so that'd be 180 degrees. So one thing you can write down is the fact that from this line to your dotted line is 180. We see that already. We're not finished yet though, okay? We're not finished yet. We still need to measure this angle in here because we're not fully to A as yet. We just move from here, okay? We're halfway there. So now we need to measure the remaining of our angle. Okay, so remaining of our angle is this angle down here. So you're going to do the exact same thing we did before. Okay, you see how I lined up this little dot here with our middle area on our protractor? Okay, you do the exact same thing. You do the exact same thing, okay, because now this dotted line now becomes your 0 degrees. Okay, this is your new starting point. The dotted line is your new starting point because you already know, guys, that moving from here to here is 180 degrees. So now you need to find the rest of the way. So now you're moving from 0 degrees and then you're moving into A. And you see the answer there. Like I say, our protractor has not failed us. This is 55 degrees, okay? You definitely have your 55 degrees there, okay? So just lining that up so you can see that. Okay, you definitely have your 55 degrees there. So from this dotted line to A is 55. But one thing, do not forget the 180. This is a very large angle, okay? Do not forget the 180. So of course, you're gonna plus your 180 to the remaining of the angle, 55 degrees, and your answer will be 235, okay? 235. So I hope you understand how I get that. You can always feel free to go back to this session's recording so you can go over it bit by bit, okay? So do I have any questions there? So I just want to quickly move on to something else. Quickly move on to something else. So this is finding direction using angular bearings, okay? And of course you need your protractor to this, okay? So this angle over here is much larger than the angle on the left-hand side. Okay, remember to this angle, this is how you tell if an angle is bigger than 180 degrees. When you draw your straight line and you see that the point goes beyond that straight line that you draw. If you draw a straight line over here, that doesn't serve you any purpose because the point doesn't even go beyond 180 degrees, okay? So remember, you can always cut the angles in half. You can cut this in half. You can get this measurement over here, and then you can come in and continue this measurement over here. Please don't get confused by this over here. This is just the same angle that we did over here previously. So the only thing we need to be focusing on actually is this portion of the equation, that portion right there. Okay, your A to your F to your A. Okay, so let's continue. Let's continue. So latitude and longitude lines, okay? So just a little quick review on this. So which of these lines is an example of a line of latitude? Which is a line of longitude? So feel free to answer in the chat. Which is your line of latitude? Which is your line of longitude? See, y'all getting review classes for free. Persons have to pay for 2 sessions. Which one? Which line? The equator or the prime meridian? Which is the line of latitude? Which is the line of longitude? Anyone? Come on, guys. Dust those cobwebs off. Someone said latitude is going up and down. Really? You sure? Are you sure, Kashard? Okay. Of course, you know, time is definitely obstacle. No, Raven, that's not right. See, that's why you guys need these review classes. Okay, like time is always an obstacle for us, so I'm definitely going to just give you the answers. Yes, Paris, good job. Okay, so of course your equator, guys. Your equator is your line of latitude. Another name that is associated with these, we call them parallels. And the reason why we call our latitude lines parallels because they do not intersect with each other. Okay, they do not intersect with each other. So of course we have some main lines of latitude. You have your equator, you have your Tropic of Cancer, you have your Tropic of Capricorn, you have your Arctic Circle and your Antarctic Circle as well. Okay, so those are some main lines of latitude. And then, of course, we have our prime meridian, which is a line of longitude, okay, which is a line of longitude. Remember, you also have the international date line, guys, that separates 2 calendar days at 180 degrees, okay, at 180 degrees. So good job, everyone. Yes, Carlin, I saw you there. I see you there, okay. So your equator is definitely going to be a line of latitude and your longitude line is going to be your prime meridian. Okay, some things I want you to also remember as we talk about latitude and longitude. Your prime meridian, they are very important as it relates to you telling time. Okay, telling time goes along with your prime meridian. Your latitude line goes along with identifying your solstice and equinox, your different seasons, okay? When these lines intersect, the latitudes and the longitude, this is where you get the geographical grid over the earth. And this geographical grid is what we use to identify or pinpoint locations, okay? This is how you get your GPS, okay? So next question. So of course we put the Bahamas right there. So name for me the line of latitude that runs through the Bahamas. Which line of latitude runs through the Bahamas? Anyone know? Yes, Kashad, good job. The Tropic of Cancer. Okay, identify for me which 2 islands does the Tropic of Cancer run through? Which 2 islands does the Tropic of Cancer run through? Anyone know? Come on, guys. No, Raven, that's not right. Anyone else want to give it a try? Kashad, you have one of those right. One of those right. Yes, Raven, that is right. Kashad, no, that second one isn't right. Remember which 2 islands are side by side when you, or almost side by side when you want to think about the 2 islands that the Tropic of Cancer runs through. It is Exuma and Long Island, okay? Exuma and Long Island. Exuma actually have a beach in Little Exuma that is called the Tropic of Cancer Beach because that is the exact point where the Tropic of Cancer line runs through. And I also want you to remember Exuma and Long Island, Kashard, Okay, and I also want you to remember what is the degree measurement of that line. That is 23.5 degrees north. Okay, remember we also have hemispheres as well. You have the northwestern hemisphere, northeastern hemisphere. You have the southwestern and the southeastern hemisphere. Okay, the earth is split into those 4 different hemispheres. Let's go into some things more major. We want to look at some grid references, okay? So that's a little bit of information on grid references. Okay, so like I said, the map is divided into grid lines. Okay, you have these lines that are running horizontally and lines that are running vertically. Okay, when you want to think about horizontally, you want to think about the horizon, the sun's horizon. Of course, horizontal will be going in this direction. Okay, horizontal is definitely west to east. And then when you think about vertical lines, these are the lines that are running from north to south. Okay, so you have your horizontal lines and you have your vertical lines. And with grid reference, these can either be 4-figure or 6-figure as well. Okay, 4-figure or 6-figure as well. So remember, we're just doing a basic recap. I wish I had more time to really get into this with you. Okay, so of course, you know, we use the Ordnance Survey's map. Okay, so a 4-figure grid reference points you towards a particular square on a map, and each one of those squares represents 1 square kilometers. Okay, so just a little bit of information there for you. So on the map, so all maps will have lines numbered. Okay, so you see each line actually having a number, the vertical and the horizontal ones. And these are not gonna start from 0. Okay, they're not gonna start from 0. But I'm going to give you some things that you should know about them. So first of all, you have your eastings and you have your northings. Okay, you have your eastings and you have your northings. Okay, so firstly, these are the lines that you'll identify first. These are called your eastings. And the reason why they're called your eastings, because they increase as you go toward the east. They increase in number. Another thing you always need to remember with these grid references are that the numbers are always going to go consecutively. And when I say consecutive, they're going in a sequence. Okay, they're always going to go 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, okay, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54. They're always going to go in a sequence, okay? They're always going to go, the number come after each. You're not going to skip. Okay, so that's some of the things that you should also be mindful of as well. So remember I said you have your eastings and you have your northings. Okay, so your eastern lines are these lines that increase in number as you go toward the east. So you saw the 30s came up, then your 31s, your 32s, your 33s. Okay, so of course these eastern lines are our vertical lines that we mentioned. Okay. And then we have our northern lines. Our northern lines, they're going to increase as you go to the north. Okay, they're increasing as you go to the north. So you have your 44, your 45, your 46, your 47. Sometimes you're going to see map guys that are going to have a little smaller number in the front of them. Okay, but always be mindful, whatever the number is that is going in a consecutive order is the numbers that you ought to use. Okay, so if you see 2 in the front of this 4, you see 5 in the front of this 4, just be mindful. Always use the numbers that are going consecutively, that are going in a counting sequence. Okay, just some things to point out. Remember I said northings, they increase as you go to the north. So this is just a little clue to help you remember. Easterns first and northerns last. Okay, so you see along the corridor you are running and then up the stair you go. So eastings is running along the corridor and up the stairs you go. So you're running along the corridor and up the stairs you go. Okay, so that's a little clue. So remember, eastings are always first and then your northings. Okay, so just to help you out, remember I said your eastings are first. So these are your eastings. Those ones. So let me just get a laser. So we have our eastings. Okay, everyone see our eastings? And then of course we have our northings. The northings start from the bottom as well. Okay, you see your northings going in that direction. Okay, so whenever you are trying to find a grid reference, guys, you are always going, paper persons usually say southwest, but in case you don't know directions, and that's fine. Okay, you're always going to say the bottom left-hand corner. I'm sure you know what your left hand looks like. So you're always going to identify these based on the bottom left-hand corner. Okay, so I'm just going to use a pen. So for example, I'm going to do one example with you. Okay, let's just say we want to find, let's say this word here, this gibbet wood. We want to find this word. Okay, so this would be the bottom left-hand corner of this square. Okay, so everyone see the bottom left-hand corner. So we're looking for the same. So I want you to tell me, what would the 4-figure grid reference be for gibbet wood? Okay, based on some things I already told you. Remember I said, you find the bottom left-hand corner, then you identify the 2 lines that intersect at your bottom left-hand corner. First, you're going to start with your eastings, then you're going to start with your northings. Okay, bottom left-hand corner. So I just want to use, let me see if I can open this up. Let's keep that. I want to open this up. Okay, so let's insert some things. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to write this as well. So we have bottom left-hand corner, we have our eastings. Okay, so we know our eastings go first. So the eastings will be 68. Everyone see that? Okay, next we're going to identify the northings. So the northings will be 99, no space. Okay, sometimes persons put a comma, but that's not even needed. But 68, 99 would be the answer for gibbet wood. Okay, so let's do another one. That was my example for you. I want you to tell me, what would the church be? See the cross here? What would be the 4-figure grid reference for the church? Anyone want to give it a try? What would be the 4-figure grid reference for the church? Remember what I told you. Eastings first, then northings. Okay, remember guys, remember bottom left-hand corner raven. So look at this particular square. Look at this particular square. Identify the square that your object is in first. Identify the square that your object is in first. So everyone see the square. Okay, so after you have identified the square, you're going to identify the bottom left-hand corner of that square. Okay, so we find the bottom left-hand corner. So remember we said your eastings first. So we can see the eastings is 69 and your northings is 0, 1. So the answer for that would be yes, Paris. 69, 0, 1 would be your answer for that church. Let's do another one. Let's do another one. Let's do Plumpton Dairy Farm. Let's do Plumpton Dairy Farm. What would be the 4-figure grid reference for Plumpton Dairy Farm? Raven, good job. So Marsha and Raven, that's good, good. You did excellent. Okay, one more before we move on. Let's look at Village Hall. Okay, Village Hall is over here. What would be the 4-figure grid reference for Village Hall? So sorry guys, I didn't give you the grid reference for this one. I'll give you it. Okay, the answer for that was 6902. Okay, that was for the dairy farm. Let's look at Village Hall now. Okay, what would be the grid reference for Village Hall? Okay, Marsha, you are on the roll. That is correct. Anyone else want to give it a try? Paris, excellent. Good job. Good job, Paris. Raven, no. Remember we said bottom left-hand corner. So if this is your square that Village Hall is in, this is your square here. Always be mindful if a place that you're talking about has a symbol, because the symbol will usually come first. Okay, and we see that even though Village Hall lingers over into the square, the Village Hall is actually in this particular area. Okay, so bottom left-hand corner is definitely going to give you eastings first would be 70, and then the 1 will be your northings. 0, 1 will be your northings. Okay, so the answer for that is going to be 7001. Okay, 7001. So like I say, you can always go back to the recording and Get more comfortable with it. You can even identify some more of these places as well, okay, just to become more comfortable with it, okay? So we're going to look at so there's some practice work in there as well. You can always go back to. Let's look at our six-figure grid reference. So when you want more accuracy, you want a more in-depth pinpoint location, you are going to use your six-figure grid reference. Same concept applies, okay? Same concept applies as it relates to your six-figure grid reference. So what you're gonna do with your six-figure grid reference, so let's just quickly go over some of these. So the thing that you're gonna do first with your six-figure grid reference, so like I say, I'm going to go through these with you. So first of all, you're gonna do the exact same thing that we have been saying. Remember the bottom left-hand corner, remember the eastings first, okay? So these are some things I want you to remember. Remember how you write out these as well. So we're going to identify this particular square. We're going to identify this particular square, okay? So one thing you need to also remember, see, I'm short for time, so I'm starting the Bible. But one thing you need to remember, so this would be the square that you would be identifying. This would be the original square that you would be identifying. But in order to find six-figure grid reference, that square has to be divided into 10 equal spacing, okay? So for example, if we were here and we wanted to find, let's say this cross, okay? In order to find a six-figure grid reference for this cross, you're gonna have to divide this particular square into 10 equal spacing. So in order to get 10 equal spacing, you're gonna have to draw 9 lines. And you're not just drawing 9 easting lines, you're also drawing 9 northern lines as well. So you're drawing lines coming across 9 equal spacing, 10 equal spacing, sorry, 9 lines, okay? And you could use your ruler. Persons who do graphical, those are always pretty familiar with being able to divide these spaces into these equal parts, okay? So you're gonna use your ruler and you're gonna see how you could divide these spacing equally, okay? So you're gonna draw the northings and your eastings in that one particular square. That's why you see me give this example down here. You're gonna draw the eastings and your northings within that square to actually break it down into the 10 equal spacing. And when you do that, guys, you're gonna number these lines. So you see here, of course, out here would be a 0. So just as you have these numbers over here, you have your 20 and your 30 to identify your 4-figure. You're gonna have the same exact thing. So this would be your 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it goes up to 9. And then you have a new square starting. Same thing applies here. Okay, this would be a 0 and it goes up 1, 2, 3, of course to 9, and then you start a new square. So I'm gonna do some examples with you, so don't feel too flustered or too confused, okay? Even if we go over time today, I'm still going to continue. At least the recording will be there on the site for you. So, for example, if we want to find the six-figure grid reference for our orange square, the first thing you're going to do, I want you to identify the 4-figure first. Okay, the 4-figure first. So the 4-figure would be, remember we said bottom left-hand corner. You're gonna have your eastings and your northings, okay? So you're gonna identify eastings first. So our eastings is 17. So what I'm going to do is leave a little space there, okay? Leave a little empty space there. So that's our 4-figure. And then we're going to find the northings for our 4-figure as well. Okay, bottom left-hand corner, and it's 51. Okay? So before you find your 6-figure, you're always going to find your 4-figure first, okay? And then you're going to leave a 3rd and 6th space open up for this little box here. I hope you got that. I hope you got that. So you're going to leave a little box open there, okay? So next, remember we said each one of these, you're going to have 9 lines inside. 9 lines. So you're gonna have your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You have 9 lines inside. Remember your eastings first. Don't forget that, guys. It's always your eastings first. Your eastings lines going up and down. So we're going to identify. So in a square like this first line here would always be 0. Okay, when you're finding six figure, this is always going to be your 0. Okay, so you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4. So you see the orange box, you get 4. You go 4 lines in. So that would be your third digit. I'm going to make this third digit for you. Let's make this red so it stands out. Okay, let's make that red. So all your first of all, your first 3 digits, they are all going to be your Eastings. Okay, your first 3 digits are all going to be your Eastings. Now let's finish up our Northings. Okay, same thing applies. Bottom left hand corner, guys. Okay, you even do the little bottom left hand corner in your little individual square as well. And that will help you to identify the next line. Okay, so of course your first line is going to be 1. So this line will always be 0. Okay, that would always be 0. So this will be 1 and that will be 2. So your Northings there is going to be 2. Okay, so let's put the 2 there. I'm gonna definitely make that red so you can see. And this will be the answer for your 6-figure grid reference. Okay, this will be the answer for your 6-figure grid reference. So of course you have your Eastings first and then your Northings second. Okay, so even if we wanted to say, because persons usually get confused with this one. Let's do a little shake fill. Even if we wanted to identify, let's put our little circle here. Okay, I hope everyone is able to see that. Maybe I should change the shape fill to black, okay? So I want it in that same square right there, right to the bottom there. Okay, I want it in the same square. So if you was to even find the 6-figure for this, of course you see it's close to the line. Okay, I actually want it actually in the very last square. Okay, of course it's so small, I'm trying to work it in there. So let's see, so I could get it in the actual square. Perfection is key, right? Just want to move it. Just to make sure you get accurate reading. Okay, there. So if you was to give me the 6-figure grid reference for our little black dot, I was going to quickly go through this one with you. So of course, you know, you identify the 4-figure first. Okay, we're still in the bottom left-hand corner. Don't forget that. So it's still 17. Okay, give yourself some space. Give yourself some space. You have to come back for your third digit. Still 17. It's still 51. So the 4-figure is going to be the same. Okay, but your third and 6th digit is going to change. So remember, you said the Eastings first, so don't get confused. So you have your Eastings 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so 9 will be your Eastings. Remember, bottom left-hand corner is always key. Okay, let's move this a little closer now. And then you're going to find your 6th digit. Okay, remember what I said, guys. So you always start from 0. Okay, you see this first line here is going to be 0. So your answer is going to be 0. Okay, so I hope that you got that little example. Okay, so I wish I had more time, but I just go on to another activity, but you can always come back and practice as well. So same thing applies for this one down here. So you have your 4-figure, you have your 4-figure here. Okay, your 4-figure is definitely going to be 25, 25, 52 would be your 4-figure grid reference. But remember, you need your third figure. Your third figure for this pink one is going to be 2. Okay, I wanted y'all to work these out, but we don't have enough time, so I'm just going through them. And definitely, you're going to have 7. So that's for the pink. For the red, same 4-figure, because we're still in the same square. So it's still going to be 25, 52, still in the same square, but the third number is going to be 7, And the next number you're nodding is going to be 2. Okay, so I hope you guys got that answer. So just to wrap up, I just want to quickly go over this with you. So I want you to be able to identify height on a map. Okay, this is just a little quick something. So when we're talking about height on a map, we mentioned the word relief. And so what is a relief? Relief is going to refer to the highest and the lowest elevation or points in a particular area. Okay, and when you think about the highest of a particular area, you're going to think about things like mountains and ridges. Okay, those would be your higher elevations. When you want to think about your valley area, when you want to think about your low-lying areas, you're going to think about your valley areas. Remember, you have your mountain peaks and your valleys, which would be the lower areas within those mountains. Okay, so some different ways you are able to identify height on a map. You have your contours. Okay, these are your contours, and usually on your OS maps, you're going to see numbers in them. Okay, you have your spot heights. You have your spot heights. These are your spot heights in here. Those dotted ones are your spot heights, and this little triangle up here is actually a trigonometrical station. And for short, we call them trig stations or trig points. Okay, 2 other ways in which you are able to identify height on a map are definitely by layer coloring and hill shadings and arches. Okay, so these are just some things that you could be familiar with, some different ways in which you can identify height on a map. So I hope this review of map work, guys, brought back a little bit of memory for you. I wish I was able to do this even much longer with you. Listen, guys, it has been such a pleasure working with you over these last, I think 9 weeks possibly, could be longer. Before we go, I just want you to put in the chat, I want to see what all schools you guys go to, because in the near future, I also want to give you guys some shout outs. Okay, so it was definitely a pleasure working with all of you during this time. It was such a pleasure to meet you. I don't want to ever forget your name. Okay. Just taking a picture of my chat. So let's chat, guys. So of course, we already went over our time. So tell me some of the schools you guys go to. Anyone want to share? Okay, Marsha, I know you go to C.R. Walker, Paris R.M. Bailey. Okay, good stuff. Raven Government High. Kashad, what about you? I know you've been here with me from a very long time. So, Anthony, what about you? You've been quiet recently. Okay. Oh, Anatole Rogers. Okay, good stuff. Okay, good stuff. Paris, R.M. Bailey. Okay, I see Joshua in there as well. Destiny in there as well. Okay, so I have a whole group of new kids. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed with me. I really want to say thank you for being here with me Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, guys. It was my Jack Hayward. Okay, Garland. Okay, good stuff, Jack Hayward. Shout out to the Grand Bahama persons. Okay, so but if you enjoyed Joshua R.M. Bailey, okay, good stuff. If you enjoyed, please, let me know that you enjoyed. Like I said, this is our last day here in grade 12 geography. I wish all of you guys the best in all of your future endeavors, whether it be you following your career path, whether it be you going to university, whether if you take your final national exam as well. I wish you all great success. Okay, please remember the information is there at your disposal. You could continue reviewing those information. I know that there's an area on the website as well if you want to leave any comments or possibly ask any questions. I will frequently check it to see if anywhere I can additionally assist you. Okay, so even though the classes have ended, I will still be at your disposal as well. Okay, so remember me, guys. My name is Miss Thames, and it has definitely been a pleasure being here with you. So if you don't have any more questions for me, I guess that is goodbye until you see me somewhere in the near future. Please say hello. Please let me know that I'm from the virtual school. I will be more than happy to meet you. Okay? So that is it.